If I was starting a music career this year, these are the 5 things I would do first to move on and to progress in my music industry. The very first thing, I would define what kind of musician I want to be. Now, being a musician is very broad because there are so many things you can actually do. There's a book by Ari Hurst on how to make it in the new music business, where he gives up to 100 jobs that you can do in the music industry. Now, this can be a session musician, this could be someone who notates, this could be someone in administration at a music publishing, this could be someone as a music administrator. So there's a lot of things that can be done in the music industry. So define what you want to be. If you want to be someone on stage performing, then that is the main goal, and the requirements and what you need to do to get there are very defined and look a certain way. Versus if you want to be someone in sync music, there's a different objective and a different way of writing if that's your objective. So define what kind of musician and how you want to be playing in the music industry. Once you've defined what you want to do, you want to define how will you do it. Now, for example, if you are a producer, it is easier for you to be in sync music because you make the beats. But if you're an artist and you typically write, then you may need to be collaborating with a producer to be able to go into sync music. So how will you produce, or how will you get to the process of being the type of musician you want to be? Now, this generally means you have to understand where you are going. The next thing is to understand the intricacies and managing how you're getting there. And then lastly, you actually have to do the process and make what needs to be made. If you want to be a chart-topping person, you can't be making emotional ballads, for example. You have to be making party bangers, top 50, top 100 type of music. And if you want to be a sync musician, then there's a different type of writing. There can be some emotional music and there can be some heavy-hitting top 50 type of music. But that is something you have to define. How will you go about making the said objective? Number 3, if you want to do this for a living, you kind of have to define how much money you need to be able to do this for a living. An easy way to do this is if you know that your current salary is approximately 10,000 Rand per month, then 10,000 Rand should be the objective before you leave work. It's a little trickier when you earn more. The more you earn, the more you need to be able to leave what you're currently doing in order to finance this music career. Now, there are several ways to go about this, and since there are so many revenue streams in music, you have to understand where the money is coming from. So if you're a live performer, you get money instantaneously, so you need to be able to perform a lot and keep the cash flow going. But if you're in sync or something that requires royalties, that money comes once a quarter or once a year in some cases. So you kind of have to understand that part and how much you need in order to achieve the said goal. The 4th thing, I would actually get onto the internet and establish my social media presence. Now, this is obviously before you've identified what kind of musician you want to be. So once you define that, then you move on and say, okay, now I need people to know this is the kind of musician or music personnel that I want to be. And then you go into social media, check at handles, and then you claim and own that social presence. So mine is Skill Music SA everywhere, but if I were to do it all again, I'll probably call it Beats by Skill, just for the beats side of things of my music career. So you want to focus 100% on the type of musician you want to be, and then own the social media platforms or own the social footprint, and also get a website because you need to own your audience. Last but not least, you want to build a network or a list of people that are important for what you're trying to achieve. Now, there are several types of musicians or type of things you want to do. So for example, if you want to go into sync music, you want to get a list of library owners and you want to get a lot of people that are in that field. If you want to be a beat maker, you want to be networking with beat makers and seeing what kind of beat maker you want to be. If you want to make beats for artists, main artists, there are certain producers that are good at that, so follow what they do. But if you want to be someone who makes tight beats, there are different type of producers you want to follow to see how they do their hustle. But in essence, you want to build this network before you start talking to them. Get the social proofing, own your social media, follow what and how the people that you have identified as your ideal person. And then once you've grown your brand, then you move on into networking with those people. Don't forget, there are different type of musician jobs in the world. You want to know where you are going, and then you want to have a strategy to how to get there. And a bonus one, you want to keep on learning. And when you learn, you don't just learn the music theory, the craftsman type of things, mixing and mastering, etc. There comes a point where you have to learn about project management, and then next you want to know how to be an entrepreneur, because in the music business, that's what you are. A book I highly suggest you read is The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, I think it is. I'll leave it somewhere on the screen, but this actually opened my eyes as to how effectively you want to operate your business and different type of musician needs in order to achieve what you want to achieve as a musician. You have to have the foresight. But anyway, don't forget to subscribe to my mailing list. I'll leave a link in the description below and in the comments.